America! Hey, America! Hey, America!
The United States of America is my home. It will always be my home. I am an American. Regardless of where I was born, this is the home I know. This is the home I was raised.
I'm from Mexico. There's no denying that that's where I originally came from. I feel American because, the culture here growing up inside of my house was Mexican, but outside was American.
All my sisters and I speak Urdu. We practice Islam. In the roots of it all, we are Pakistani. But my family and I are as American as they come.
People like me face so much animosity in this country and so much inequality that makes me reluctant to claim American nationality.
Mary wanted to ask you something.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You told me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. She wanted to know if all girls from Israel are ugly.
We were filling out forms for some standardized tests where you had to fill out your social security number. I very confidently raised my hand and told her, I don't have a social security number, I'm an immigrant. And at that point, a kid in the back shouts out, illegal. Like I swam here from India, like I swam across 3 oceans. I felt that I was going to have to continue encountering this for the rest of my life, that I wasn't going to ever be able to escape my position as an outsider. And that's terrifying, because it was my home, just like theirs. And then it brings up the question again of where is my home?
Y aquí, en el norte, no somos aceptados, pues. ¿Cuándo vamos a encontrar un lugar, Enrique?
My mom came to the United States from El Salvador when she was 19. After just the violence of the Civil War, after the increased poverty, and the fact that many of our family members had left the country to come to the US, she kind of followed in their tracks. I look at my mom's life a lot as a window for what my life could look like, and I see how she's struggled to find work and how she's faced hostility for being an immigrant, and seeing how she's treated throughout her life has really shaped my ideas. This is how America treats immigrants. This is how America treats Latinos.
My mom came here and she didn't speak a lick of English. And, I was looking for some old documents in this little bin that we used to keep. Progress reports for your kids and medical this and camp that. And I realized how much of a struggle it must have been for her to deal with all of it, not knowing the language. She still did it. I really just kind of admire both of them for even going through all of it for us.
A lot of immigrant parents and immigrant families come to this country feeling grateful, feeling like they hit the jackpot, because if you're an indigenous person in Guatemala, for example, you're going to come to this country where, maybe there's not great jobs, but there's still more jobs than back at home, more food on your table than you'd see in your home country.
They wanted us to have a good future, and they wanted us to become educated and be able to speak our minds and live in a true democracy.
Du ska veta att en dag så kommer våra barn att tacka oss för att vi flyttade hit till Nordamerika.
I don't think that they realized how difficult it would be to actually start up here, and how jarring it would be for them to try to manage everything without the proper documents.
I realized I was an undocumented immigrant when my dad was picked up by ICE agents in front of me. In 1993, my dad had filed for asylum. In Pakistan, there was no true democracy. It was very one-sided, and my parents were very vocal about it. Fast forward to 2008, I was at home with my dad, and I was a freshman in high school. I hear a knock on the door. It was 2 men in green uniforms, like law enforcement uniforms. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, they're collecting donations. We have firefighters coming in our neighborhood to collect donations. And they ask for my dad's ID, but they follow him in, which they had no right to do. And I know that now, practicing law. And they tell him that he's being deported. And he just sat there confused. Like, I wanted to do everything the right way. But the immigration process in this country is so convoluted. He was taken. He missed my high school graduation. He missed my college graduation. He missed my wedding. I don't know who to blame.
有时候，像我们没有来这，待在家里跟老婆儿子在一起多么好啊！我这儿子的出生前我就来了。
The thing that's most misconstrued about the immigration process is that it's easy. You get in this imaginary line where you wait an imaginary 1-2 days, and then you get your imaginary citizenship, and great, you're a US citizen, no problem, you came in the right way, congrats. But that's not the reality.
People want to lawfully be here. The word illegal is not the proper word. I mean, you're not an illegal alien. Undocumented is the proper term. When you're undocumented, that means you lack the proper documentation to reside lawfully in the United States.
It usually takes a few years to even get the paperwork done to be able to travel to America. After that, there is a probationary period of about 7 years of just being on a visa where you could be sent home at any time, where there's no permanence whatsoever. Just a traffic violation could get me my house taken away. My career could end. And that's a lot to think about every morning.
I can go back and remember what the fear felt like. I remember it being this cloud that loomed over my head. It's something that I didn't go a single day without thinking about, And my mom, she was kind of explaining to me, she was like, I don't have documents. If something happens, maybe I can't drive, maybe I can't get to you. And I realized that, because of that fear, I was kind of held down by that. And there came a point where I isolated myself. I basically dropped off the face of the earth for 2 years. And people were wondering where I was. My brother asked me, do you want to continue like this? If you choose to continue down this path, you're not going to get anywhere. I don't care if you have papers or not. But this is the end for you.
昨天移民局的人到餐馆来抽查，还好我迟到了。
As usual.
是啊，可是他们把 Emily 带走，下次他们抓到我就可以回上海跟 Emily 见面。
You carry this weight on your shoulders. You want to prove to your parents that it was worth it for them to jeopardize their lives, jeopardize their future, jeopardize their happiness, to stay in this country just for your sake.
And now that it falls on me to sort of make sure that their sacrifices and all of their hardship becomes something, it's hard because there's an entire legacy placed upon me now.
There's no opportunity for failure.
我为了孩子是你的吗？
是啊，结婚是为了给他一张绿卡，也是为了应付你们。可是到后来
An immigrant is vulnerable at all times just because they never know whether the person that they are encountering, if they are considerate, if they are kind, or if they might just be a completely xenophobic person.
I carry stress around with me at all times as I think about my family and just the increasing hate crimes and violence against people of color and Muslims and immigrants. I think a lot about my mother and how she's being exploited at the factory that she works at. I think about my sister being a Salvadoran preteen going to school, and I think about my brother driving around Arkansas streets in his pickup truck and the possibility of him being stopped one day. What could happen from that?
Being an immigrant comes with the connotation that you don't belong here, that you're a second-class citizen. The media, essentially the news, and politicians skew what immigration really is.
I feel like it's easier to take the blame and put it on someone who came here as opposed to much larger economic decisions that have been made over the past few decades.
A stereotype that is being used especially now is that, gangsters and criminals and rapists are coming to the country. That's why we have to stop illegal immigration. But the reality is that in Central America especially, and in a lot of parts of Mexico, people are leaving gang violence. They're leaving the gangs and they're leaving the poverty to come to a place that is promised to have something better. And then when you get here, you're the gangster.
In
en este país se trabaja re duro, pero también llegas a ser alguien. Hemos tenido tiempos muy difíciles, pero mira nomás ahora. Ya nada puede regresarnos ahora. Nada.
I have a lot of pride, and I feel like there's so many people that share the same experience that I do. That's what makes me proud of America.
Regardless of the hardships that came with the entire process, I am who I am because of it, and I'm thankful for it. This country that I am so blessed to live in, what makes it so amazing is that it's not just one person. It's different people with different backgrounds, and they bring something different to the table.
People who don't have access to, immigrant neighbors don't understand the weight of being an immigrant. So I'd want to sit down with somebody and encourage them to really understand the history of immigration and race in this country, because without that knowledge, we can't understand this current moment in time.
We come together in a place of love, and I think that's more of what people should be focusing on. So many friendships and relationships that can be formed if you just let people sort of wander around the world.
Because America is a nation of so many immigrants, it allows all of us to have this privilege of being able to meet other cultures. And I feel like if it was something that we lost, which we might be on the track to losing, it'd be a real shame.